All right, so we're back with the C1 under test right now. Again, my goal was to make sure the amp works um, longer and better with better fidelity for the signal path. But there are also some gains that were made in terms of performance. Again, that was not necessarily original aim, but it's just, I'll take those wins. Let's first look at the, before we power on the unit, let's first look at the original specs. So in terms of THD across the board, again, this is THD, not THD plus N. They're talking about less than 0.0 to excuse my phone shaking there for. So less than 0.02, 20 to 20, 775 millivolts output is their basically their more or less their it's 0 dBs. Obviously this thing can put up 5 volts output on tape, which is freaking crazy. Basically a lot of like this, you could actually play music with a speaker straight out of this preamp. This is a beast. This is why it works so well with low gain amps such as the First Watt SID3, for which you may have seen a teaser video of this baby playing with that with Nelson's First Watt SID3. So yeah, this is a perfect preamp for that. But nonetheless, so going back to the THD again, we're going to look at that. We're also important to look at the signal to noise ratio because we introduce a lot of those relays. Like I said, that circuit is complex. So the last thing I want is from any of that relay noise to be seeping into the circuit. So now, for example, I'm gonna pick this right here because this is the lowest noise floor they have on tape, minus 90 dBs. This is IHF A network weighing. So we're gonna look at the same setting as the manual. So I'm gonna set this aside because I don't want the top cover. I'm gonna I'll explain to you in a second. One second. I left the cover off specifically for showing you a couple of things that I may have brushed over in the last video. So the C1s do dissipate a lot of heat. Let me turn this one on right now. They dissipate a lot of heat from the collectors of these two transistors right here on the regulator side of the plus minus 33 volts. So therefore there's a cutout with a vent in the cover. Do not cover that. Another area where the C1 dissipates a lot of heat, or at least this one used to, is this right here, whereas the heat would come from the light bulbs. One second, I'll show you what I mean. So the light bulbs in this thing used to be incandescent light bulbs that look like this. And I think they're rated at 300 milliamps. I need to look, but they dissipate quite a lot of heat. And they sit inside a plastic shroud, and that plastic shroud gets baked to that. Now I really like incandescent look because it's soft, it's glowing amber, and it has a really nice look to it. But that said, with C1, I almost always replace with LEDs, and these are the LEDs I've used in the past. But these are kind of, they still look like LEDs even though they have a tint of yellow, so I have to turn them on the side a little bit. Anyways, pain in the butt. In this, for this C1 right here, I used the strip, LED strip with many LEDs. So the light distribution, it's beautiful. You can't see it right now. I'll show it to you later, but it's just beautiful. It's that amber look. It looks much better even than the original. So I'm extremely pleased. Plus, what's most important to me, there's no heat here. So I have no compromise on the look and no compromise on a heat management, on thermal management. Keep that in mind. There are no other areas in here that dissipate a lot of heat. This right here may, depending on the version of C1 you have, this has been mitigated by Yamaha on the later versions, and so it has been in this unit as well. Making a call out here, I seen some, I try to be nice here, calling them morons. I have other choice words for them. People essentially wanting to remove, for example, the phono section because, oh, I'm not using it, it dissipates a lot of heat, I'm going to toss it out. You could see that in comments of other pseudo quotation marks C1 reviews done by people that have no freaking clue. They shouldn't be touching these units. Anyway, so there's not areas that you should be concerned in terms of heat dissipation with this unit. It will run fairly stable, but don't cover the collectors chimney basically they're creating right here for the power supply. And this, if you don't replace this with LEDs, eventually your plastic shroud around the meters will crack. You could see now the power supply working in here. I kind of left this open. I got to still put a couple of screws in there, but I kind of left this open for you guys to see it. You can see those LEDs that I mentioned to you earlier. These are my voltage source. Replace the Zener, so I wanted to call that out. In order for this to remain stable, and so would be for the Zener, this need to be kind of they have to be strategically located away from sources of heat like this. So locating it right here, it keeps them all stable. You don't have to worry about them drifting. So this is rock solid right now. The 33 volts is rock solid. So that's a huge win as well. Lower noise and rock solid. So speaking of lower noise, with this power supply again, with this many relays that you saw in there, then the first question I had is, did I screw up the signal to noise ratio of this preamp? And as I share this with you, it's rated at minus 90 dB IHF A network weighing. So we're gonna do the same here. So basically, I have an analyzer hooked up to this amp right here, and so I'm going to turn on the gain so you guys could see it, and you could see I'm at 0 dB. That's basically 775 milliamps on this. You can see how quickly this gets smudged up. So yeah, so I'm at 0 dB here. It's 775 volts output, and I'm going to basically say give me oops I'm gonna say run the signal to noise, and so we could see it's about 11-ish dBs of gain versus the original. So in other words, the noise floor of this preamp, considering all the relays that I'm adding in here, all the other circuitry, it actually improved, right? Improved by about 11 dBs versus the original specs. So to me, I mean, at least I didn't screw up anything, but I'll take the gain, right? Anyhow, so now the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to look at THD. So I'm going to pause the video a little bit. I'm going to go set this up for a THD measurement. And we're going to also look at THD plus noise as well, which is not documented, but we'll share that with you as well. All right, so I have the device under test again, like this, set up for full 0 dB right here, and so that matches the manual. And we could see right now I'm looking at this is right here. This is THD plus N, lower distortion at THD plus N with no filters versus just THD. Remember, the manual says that this is 0.02, so we got an extra 0 in there. Anyhow, now let's look at the just THD. So this is not bad at all. We have very little noise in there from the power supply. 1 second. All right, so again, we're set up at 0 dB here, and we're looking at the just THD alone, no noise factor, and this is how it looks, and it is substantially better than the specs. Again, to be fair, this is at 1 kilohertz, so we're looking at 001400, basically around 001 at one-ish across both channels. So this is more than 10 times less than the original. It's nearly 20 times less, it looks like. than the original spec right there. That's not trivial, but here it says 20,000. Says 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. So we're at 1,000 hertz right now. Let's see how it looks at 20,000 hertz, because that's where you see the you know, problems, if there are problems. So let me get this changed to a higher frequency in here. So we're going to say, give me 20 kilohertz. And so we're definitely seeing an increase in distortion right there. This is a 20,000 kilohertz, 20,000 hertz, 20 kilohertz. But it's trivial, right? It's comparing to where the specs of the original. So I would say I'm confident that this is across the frequency band than the original spec. So I am satisfied. I think any changes that I did are actually improving the amp, not affecting its performance in any ways, with the additional confidence that the fidelity of the signal path, it's going to be retained for many years. So it's a win-win across the board. Again, this took many months of work, not just of mine, but I don't think I would have been able to pull this off without Zelshko's help. And so again, Zelshko, if you're watching this video, I'm very thankful to your knowledge. And I'm going to say this 100 times if every chance I get, because I'm very happy to have you as a friend and be able to collaborate in projects like this. All right, for the rest of you, gang, thank you very much for watching. The next step for this in this journey is to listen to this baby, hook it up to a proper amp, and listen to it in my listening space. So I will see you soon.